Hi everybody, welcome back to Jaffa Cooks, and today I'm going to make a dish out of an aubergine or an eggplant. Now, there are a couple of ingredients that you can use, especially in Middle Eastern culture. They use mutabbal, they use ganoush. There are a couple of dishes that they use this aubergine. But today we're going to focus heavily on the charring of this to give it that really smoky flavor. We're also going to keep the focus on the aubergine and not introduce anything else to it. So when you do try it with a bread like a bazlama, you can really taste the aubergine. You don't have to have bazlama bread if you don't know how to make it, or it's not available. You can use pita bread. You can just use general loaf bread. But the taste of the aubergine does really come out, and you can really taste the smokiness in it as well. So before I start, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click on the bell icon, find out the latest updates. Do DM me if there's any special requests. And one of the ways to basically choose an aubergine is to find the greenest stem, the tightest skin, and the shiniest ones as well. For baba ganoush, I'd recommend you get the more narrower, longer shaped ones, not the big round fat ones, because it takes longer to cook. Also, one thing to remember is that when you're cooking this, especially charring it, there's a lot of pressure inside that builds up, especially from a steam perspective, and they do start popping. So to prevent that from happening or you burning, I'm going to take my knife and just basically make about a good 10 holes in it, just to make sure that that steam can be released and it doesn't basically endanger you whilst you're cooking. With that being done, I'm going to now head over to the hob, and I'll see you back there. Just before I go there, if you've got one of these trays with a hole in it, it's basically a grill tray, a barbecue grill tray. I bought this online. I tend to use it for when I'm barbecuing. So I'm going to use my grill tray. If you haven't got this grill tray, you can directly cook this on your stove. But if you don't want to take the risk, because it can get a little smoky, pop this into the oven at 180 degrees until it's nice and soft. Okay, so I'll see you back at the hob. Right, welcome back everybody. So I've got my grill set up. So all I'm going to do now is basically place this on the tray, and basically the heat and the flames should start charring it. Keep an eye on it. What we do want is a low heat but a smoky flavor, so we want it to cook completely inside. And the only way to find out if it's completely cooked is when it becomes nice and soft. So every so often, every 3 or 4 minutes, just keep turning it, but eventually it'll basically shrivel up like a prune. And then that means that the moisture inside is dried up and it's cooked totally. So I'll see you back in about, I'd say a good 10 minutes, 12 minutes before this is totally done. Okay. Right, welcome back. So my aubergine is cooking away. As you can see, in certain areas you can see where I've made the cuts. The steam is allowed to escape. So I'm just going to carry on cooking the edges towards the end. They're a bit larger, so I'm going to just manage to cook them off. But you can see how soft it's become. That means it's pretty much cooked inside. There's a very strong charry smell in the kitchen. So inside it's going to really smell nice and smoky. So once I'm finished, I'll come back and show you what to do next. I'll see you shortly. Welcome back everybody. So this is my aubergine. It's nice and soft. It's a bit hot. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just quickly remove this and place this into a glass bowl. Leave the stem. I do advise you to leave the stem as it is. Don't touch it. Don't take it off. Don't remove it. And then I'm going to place a plate over the top, and I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes so that it steams up, and then it'll be easier for us to take it off the skin. So I'll see you back at the preparation area in about 10 minutes. Welcome back everybody. So after letting that charred grilled aubergine sit for about 10 minutes, still warm. There's a nice smell of charred vegetable there. I'm just going to now take out the aubergine, and literally what I want to do now is take out the inner part of the aubergine, which is the inner meat. So I'm just going to quickly cut this. I'm going to show you what the inside looks like. The inside actually looks like that. So it's nice and soft, it's fully cooked. So I'm going to just take a spoon, but it's still quite warm. So what we want to do is basically take out the inner meat part of the aubergine and pop it into the fridge. Let it cool down before we start introducing other bits of ingredients to it. Okay, so I'm just going to literally take out and scoop out all the nice meat. Now, when you're scooping this out, bits of char might come in with it, and that's really about it. I'm just going to now discard that and do the same with the other part. Okay, so I'm going to now pop this in the fridge, let it rest for about a good 10-15 minutes, and then once I'm ready, I'll bring it out and I'll show you what to do with the remaining part of the meat. All right, see you shortly. Hi everybody, welcome back. And my aubergine is been in the fridge for a good 25-30 minutes. It's nice and cool. So how to prepare it? All I'm going to do is basically chop up my aubergines first. And although the aubergine is cooked, the aubergine still has strands, and it's always nice to break down those strands. And all I'm doing is basically just chopping that cooked, and you can still smell the smokiness here as well. Just breaking down those strands of aubergine. And I'm just going to place it into a mixing bowl. And then I've got some elements here that I'm going to introduce to the aubergine that gives it that additional zing and taste. Right, olive oil and lemon juice I'm going to leave to taste towards the end. And again, olive oil depends on how much aubergines you're using, and also the type of olive oil as well, so it makes a big difference. So I'm just going to introduce the rest of the elements. So in go the tomatoes. Again, garlic, I'm going to use half the garlic, just in case it's strong. I've got coriander. Just going to give them a quick mix. I've got some salt and some paprika. This is where I'm going to leave this to your discretion, how lemony you like it, so I'm going to use half a lemon. And olive oil is basically, I mean, something that a lot of Middle Eastern recipes and Mediterranean recipes use. So I'm going to go healthy on that and use probably 3/4. A little bit more lemon juice. Now, in most Middle Eastern restaurants that I've gone and had this dish, it's always served with pomegranates. So luckily, I went down to the supermarket and found in my local supermarket the corner shop selling pomegranates. So I picked one up. Pomegranates are one of those, it's just pick and miss really. Sometimes they can be really, really sweet. Sometimes they can be really, really sour and bitter. But these are quite nice actually. They've got a bit of both in it. So it actually cuts through everything and refreshes the palate. There you have it. Enjoy. Have a go at it. Let me know how it tastes and turns out. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.